Song Won-ho trying to become the first Korean player to win the men's singles here at the Denmark Open, but up against the now new world champion Chen Long from China. Of course, Chen Long won the title here, beating Lee Chong-wei 12 months ago. Then men's doubles, and a chance in the men's doubles for a title to be retained, because Lee Yong-dae and Yu Young-sung won the title last year. Up this year against Fu Haifeng and Zhang Nan. First Super Series final as a men's doubles combination for Fu Haifeng and Zhang Nan. So before the women's singles final, let's look at the Destination Dubai ranking list, and you can see that the two players contesting today's final are currently ranked 1 and 3. I can tell you, regardless of who wins today's final, those rankings will remain, because Wang Xiaoxian actually reached the semi-final here. And even if Wang Yihan wins, she cannot go above Wang Xiaoxian. In fact, the top 7 will remain in their current ranking positions after this tournament. The only change is 8 and 9 will swap places, because Jindapon has not contested the tournament here in Denmark. Sina Nehwal was a quarterfinalist, so she will go up to number 8, and Jindapon will go down to number 9. Hanli will move out of the top 10, and in will come Eriko Hiroshi of Japan. She will move up 1 place from 11 to number 10. So there'll be 1 or 2 changes, but it is a fascinating battle at the top of the Destination Dubai rankings as to which of those 3 Chinese players, which 2 will qualify for the end of year Super Series finals to be staged in Dubai.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the technical official.
Well, Morton, just looking at those Super Series rankings, and of course with 3 Chinese players there, you and I know that there's fierce rivalry. I think that's a nice way of putting it, between those 3 players, because Wang Xiaoxian was the number 3 ranked player before the London Olympic Games, but wasn't selected. Li Shuirui was selected as the number 4 ranked player and went on to win the gold medal. Of course, the 2010 Asian Games, Wang Yihan was the world number 1, but because she'd had a couple of suspect results, she'd lost to a couple of people that head coach Lee Yong-bo thought she shouldn't have lost to, she was dropped, and he said, I don't care that you're world number 1, you've got to go away and prove yourself again. And that's where Wang Xiaoxian got her chance at the Asian Games of 2010, and she won the gold medal. And therefore,
so he knows his players,
and he will know the rivalry between those 3 is intense.
It is, obviously it is.
World number 1, winner of this year's Indonesian Open and runner-up at the 2014 BWF World Championships, Lee Zhu-Bing.
The Olympic champion, Li Shuirui, appearing in her 10th consecutive final in 10 tournaments played. Starting last year at the Super Series finals in Kuala Lumpur. Every tournament she's played this year, she's reached the final. This, her 9th tournament final of 2014. And talking of 9 tournament finals, this lady, Wang Yihan, has won all 9 finals that she has contested, going back 23 months. The last time she lost in a final of a tournament was the Hong Kong Super Series back in 2012. So a magnificent record over a 2-year period. When she reaches the final, her problem, as we've just been alluding to, is she doesn't always reach the final. She's had 1 or 2 results. So the World Championships earlier this year, where she lost earlier than expected. Well, here is the draw for the women's singles. It was disappointment before the tournament got underway because the new world champion, Karolina Marin, the number 8 seed, had to withdraw. But as you can see from quarter-final stage, there were 4 Chinese players, 2 Indian players as well. But look at that, one American, Zhang Bei Wen, who, of course, was born in China, then represented Singapore, but now playing out of the United States of America. And it was lovely to see her in the quarter-final stage. So, by semi-finals, 3 Chinese players, by the final 2. So here is the Olympic champion, the 23-year-old from Chongqing in Sichuan province, Li Shuirui. Prior to this year, hadn't got past the quarter-final of this Denmark Open. 4 consecutive quarter-finals here in Odense, but she is well and truly the world number 1. First became world number 1 on the 20th of December 2012 and has remained in that position ever since. Well, she had a tough battle against the winner of the Dutch Grand Prix last week in that quarter-final, the player now representing the United States of America, Zhang Bei Wen. 3 games there. In the semi-final, she beat the number 4 seed, last year's beaten finalist Sung Jae-hyun, in 2 straight games. So just the semi-final where she came up against another seeded opponent, which is the same scenario for Wang Yihan, the 26-year-old from Shanghai. This her 5th final at the Denmark Open. She's 2 times won the title, 2010 and of course last year as well when she beat Sung Jae-hyun in that final. Beaten finalist back in 2009 and 2011, so she does have a magnificent record here in Denmark. She must love Denmark air as well, as Marjin, who said she'd been enjoying her time here in Odense. All of her matches in 2 straight games, as you can see, so she is playing against her 3rd consecutive teammate here at the Denmark Open. Well, that head-to-head record is not quite right either, because the last time they met was in the final of the Asian Games, and Wang Yihan won on that occasion in 3 games, 11-21, 21-17, 21-7. So it wasn't the Singapore Super Series the last time they met. Our umpire for this one, Trish Gubb of New Zealand, Fabio Betto of Italy is the service judge. So this, in fact, the 14th meeting between the 2 players, and Wang Yihan's win-loss record is 8-5 against her opponent of today.
On my left, Wang Yihan, China. Li Shuirui serve, love all, play.
So the defending champion, Wang Yihan, in the all-blue kit there. She is tall, athletic player. 178, that's about 5'10". "23 months, Morton, since she last lost a tournament final. 9 finals in the interim period."
It's fantastic to be able to perform when it really matters.
Yeah.
And going back to the World Championships in August, she actually lost to the eventual winner from Spain. I think that was the quarter-final stage, wasn't it?
It was the last 16, actually.
The last 16.
And it was 21-9, 21-12.
Yep. But I actually know that the Spanish prepared so well for that match, and they had, I think, 10 matches of Wang Yihan cut out in small little segments from every corner what kind of shot she was playing.
Really?
And they totally took it apart. It's very interesting.
And what is even more interesting is that so often when you look at a draw and you, as a coach, you have a player and you say, okay, well, we're coming up against a former world champion, former world number one. This is what we're going to analyse and look at it. And many coaches don't look beyond that match because there's a strong possibility you might not get through it. But the fact that she got through that, Carolina Marin, and got through the next one and the next one and the one after that as well is phenomenal.
It was a fantastic tournament for her. It will be very interesting to watch her in the months and years to come, because is this a one-off or can she maintain the standard?
Yeah, because as we were talking about, I think it was yesterday or maybe it was Friday, about the burden of expectation, the pressures when suddenly you have got the big result. All of a sudden, everybody's watching you. Everybody wants to beat you.
Yeah.
And exactly what the Spanish did in preparation for playing against Wang Yihan, the studying, the looking, what shot does she play from what corner in what scenario. Everybody will be doing that now on watching
her.
Carolina Marin.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. That's landed in.
5-2.
I think we have to talk about the Asian Games final, Morton, and the scoreline where Alicia Ware won the first pretty easily, 21-11. Close second, 21-17. But the third game, 21-7. Now, thinking back to those World Championship finals, Alicia Ware, in my opinion, ran out of steam.
She did. She did, and that's one of the aspects of her game that the Chinese coaches and obviously herself have to look into, because on occasion she's been seen as running out of steam, and that's something they got to work on, and as I usually say, that's the easiest part to work on.
Yeah. Relatively easy, because if you've got to teach your players new shots and new skills, that takes years and years of refinement. But, you know, really you can turn a pretty fit athlete into a very fit athlete with a decent training program in what, 6 months? A year?
Easily.
Yeah?
6 months.
Yeah. You can't give them new skills in 6 months. No
Nope.
way.
Service over. 3-7.
Oh, yes.
She's got to watch out for that.
Service
That's a
over.
clear sign of, you know one
8-3.
another's game so well. That flat exchange is the second time Wang Yihan is losing it, and it's exactly the same spot. She's got to watch out for that.
Service over. 4-8.
Well, these rallies being played at quite a pace, aren't they?
Yes.
It's good.
This one is setting it up nicely. Once again, she tried to get into that flat exchange. She was a little bit unsuccessful doing it, and then the tight net shot really let her down on that occasion. But it was well played by Alicia Ray. Good rally. Wang Yihan just hanging on.
Just long.
6-8.
That's brilliant.
But once again, setting it up from the flat exchange.
9-6.
Wang Yihan did the right thing. Lifting this, not this one, but this one, lifting that one. I think that was the right thing to do. Even the lift straight down the middle of the court was the right thing to do because he's cutting down the angles. But what an angle Li Xiurui found. So that was really, really good play.
Oh, miss it. Good rally.
Yeah, but not only that, it's good pace.
Yeah.
Very, very good pace here by Wang Yihan. I think she had a slow start, but I'm
7.
convinced
9.
she's waking up. Inverted commas. She's getting back into it. She's getting her rhythm. And she's catching up now, 7-9. Being, what, 7-2 down?
Yep.
Service over. 10-8.
You know, what impresses me, Morten, I mean, we've talked about players or pairs from the same nation having to play against each other, and they know each other's games so well. And of course, these two players, this is the 14th meeting in international competition. Goodness knows how many times they've sparred against each other as well.
A million times.
11-8.
But they're still
Interval.
making the other stop and turn and hesitate and catching the other out. And that really is testament to the quality of their racket skills. And of course, neither of them will have any coaching involvement. The Chinese coaching staff will be very happy.
They're having their coffee now.
They're having their coffee break,
Yep.
watching this.
Yeah, but I think you're right on that. They have very, very good skills.
And I don't think that was appreciated enough for a number of years. About 10 years ago, I think that everybody looked at the physicality of the Chinese women's singles players, and because they were obviously so fast and so fit, and they took the women's singles to a new level.
Yes.
And everybody got almost blinkered by the physicality and forgot to look at the racket skills. But the
11-8.
racket skills are extraordinarily good.
Play.
Yeah. But that's the interesting part, is that Carolina Marin matched them on that. Very good racket skills.
It's going wide.
12-8.
It's a good run of points here for Li Xiurui. That's good. You don't see that often in women's singles.
What, the leap out to the forehand side to intercept and clipping it straight down the line?
Yeah, the way it was done, you don't see that a lot.
Okay. It's going wide.
It is.
14-8.
Opened up a 6-point cushion here.
5 in a row, wasn't it? 8-9.
Yes, it was.
See, look at that. Look
Yes.
at that. Don't do that. Don't do it.
15-8.
But it's interesting, because when you see Li Xiurui when she's serving, the low serve is not a short serve. It's sort of going, look at that, further into the service area.
Yeah.
And it's tempting the opponent to go for these flat pushes. But Wang Yihan is doing the same. I made a note on my little notepad here a while ago when she was serving last time. But it's a while ago now because I wanted to say, look at this, how she's trying to tempt this. It's very difficult to attack it, but she hasn't served since.
Yeah.
But Li Xiurui is doing the same. So you don't get a chance to get close to the net and play a spinning net shot.
No. Nicely
good.
done.
And now we will see if she's serving a low serve, how she's pushing it quite far into the court.
Yeah. Well, 7 straight points for Li Xiurui. It's interesting because I had noticed exactly the same thing, and what was going through my mind, that the first time I saw those tactics being used with this low serve pushed well into the service box there.
Yeah.
Han Ai-ping.
Oh, that's a long time ago. That was
Yeah.
early 80s, 82, 83.
I know, but I am quite old, you know.
Me too. That's why I know her.
But do you remember that? That was something that I noticed. I think it was the 1985 World Championship final in Calgary.
In Canada, yes.
And I sat watching, because I still played singles in those days, and I thought, crikey, look at that. Because I like the flat, fast exchanges, and I learnt from that.
Yeah, you're sort of inviting. Come
Yes,
on.
yeah.
And at the same time, you're avoiding that tight net spin
Yeah.
as well.
Just long. And I remember a certain Morton Frost using the same principle in your men's singles, when you just used to push the shuttle back from the net slightly so your opponent couldn't play a tight spinning net shot.
Sometimes you were doing that.
Yeah, I remember you doing that very clearly.
Yeah, and then when they were making a mistake, you get in very early
Yes,
and play the spinning one.
yeah. It's taking the whole philosophy of, you know, what is perceived as a weak shot. You know, in doubles you would say, you know, if you're not serving on that line and you're pushing the shuttle as further back into court, you'd say that's a bad serve. Here in singles, it's a whole different philosophy.
It is.
And the whole mindset of actually what are the weaknesses? What is a weak shot in badminton? And you know, this elite level of play, when you watch these top women's singles players, you know, and especially the Chinese, I mean, it's just delightful to see the intrigue. Yes, they know each other's play, but the quality of this and the way the mental battle is going on is fascinating.
16.
It is, and what I think, you know, when it comes to the tactic of the game, is that you have to invite your opponent to try to make them take a chance. And if they bite it, you have a counter-attacking opportunity. And that's what it's all about.
Well, would you believe it?
15, 16.
It is now 7 straight points to Wang
The
Yihan.
other way round.
Extraordinary.
Wang.
And that was possibly the most simple shot in the rally, and that's the
Yeah.
one she missed. But that's just so typical.
Back level.
16.
I thought that backhand defense here, this one here, was a clever one, but how well that was covered by Wang Yihan, that was good.
Yeah. $16 all. Well, this is 9 straight points now for Wang Yihan.
But this is a classical one. That's well played by Li Xiurui again. The cross-court slice, the push down the line, how she got around it, play that forehand smash, and the following up. It was all textbook. She just missed the push.
Well, the run comes to an end.
It's over. 17 all.
It's gone long.
18-17.
I just feel it's more important for Li Xiurui to win this opening game.
Definitely is. I so agree with you. Of the top 3 singles, women's singles China has got, Wang Yihan is by far the fittest.
That, I always think, is one of her weaknesses, though. The fast push down her backhand side, and so often she tries to play this round the head shot rather than going for a backhand defence.
Yeah. But I wonder if Li Xiurui actually could be a good doubles player. She seems to be very good in these flat exchanges. Once again, look at that.
On a run of 4 straight points now.
17.
Li Xiurui.
Good we didn't have any predictions on it.
Yeah. 3 game point opportunities.
That's
That's
it, that's
clever.
perfect. I love that shot. I love it.
Yeah. A nice way to close out the open game.
21-17.
21-17.
This one here is such a good shot, and it is setting it up nicely.
What is it? That movement? What?
It's because that Wang Yihan is playing towards the forehand, and she's got to move with the shot a little bit to cover the smash down the line, but it's coming over her head, cross court, into her deep forehand corner. And it's so difficult to cover that one. She actually did really well to get it, but it set her up so nicely. Well played by Li Xiurui.
I know we're a couple of old fogies, Morton,
Yes,
but
we are.
I always feel more fascinated and more intrigued by a match like this when there's no coaches involved. And I want to see how
they react.
How the athlete, how the person, not just who can implement what the coach says. I like to see the player and whether they can work it out, whether they can get through a difficult situation.
Yeah, I agree. And sometimes even, you know, I've been a coach for years and years and years. You know, sometimes I think that it's not for the best. And we, I must say, in Denmark, we debate on many occasions whether coaching at junior level should be abolished.
Second game. Love all. Play.
Well, here we go with the second game. Olympic champion Li Xiurui, 1 game to the good, having taken the first 21-17. Oof, that's good retrieving from Wang Yihan. What an interesting concept of Danish badminton. Abolish coaching at junior level during the match, obviously.
Yes.
You know, and make the players think for themselves.
That will avoid a lot of things, parents, kids situations, and obviously the fact that the kids learn to work it out for themselves. And then obviously after the match, you can talk about it and, you know, how to improve and all that. Coaches can come in and do a very nice job. But when they're standing there on court, they have to make the decisions.
That's an amazing return of service.
It was
I agree
brilliant.
with you. And I'm trying to think of an example, and I think I've got one outside of the sport of badminton. Can you remember the build-up to the Moscow Olympic Games about the 800 metres and 1500 metres? I probably remember it better because it was involving two
British or
athletes.
two English.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Steve Ovett and Seb Coe,
yes.
now Lord Coe. And they never raced against each other, but they were getting world records one after the other at either 800 metres or 1500 metres. And the build-up of the intensity, how would they react to the first final at the Olympic Games? And Seb Coe ran with absolute naivety. He got himself into terrible trouble and therefore didn't have enough kick at the end to challenge Steve Ovett, who won the gold medal.
To win, yes.
And our intrigue and our enjoyment as spectators watching that was because there was no involvement of coaches or whatever. They had to deal with that. And this is what intrigues me when we've got two players like this. That's a magnificent shot from Wang Han. They are left to their own devices. And I'll tell you something that I remember going back 2 or 3 years ago when I was commentating at the Singapore Open and Wang Han had lost, and she came up behind my commentary position with her own personal video camera and sat down and started videoing her teammates. And so that I thought I was really impressed with. She wants to work out for herself. Yeah. She's thinking for herself. She's not just going to rely on the coaches saying, you know, this is how you play, one of your teammates, or I don't think their coaches would do that anyway. But that to me was the intrigue.
I agree.
3-5. Oh. 4-5. All.
Oh, that's nice.
Service over. 6-5.
Oh, that was going wide. Goodness me, why did she take that?
Service over. 6-all.
In fact, I think there was hesitation, but she couldn't get her racket out of the way in time.
It's a very nice backhand she's got. We've seen it on a number of occasions in this tournament. She's able to hit a very fine length and at the same time get it right in that corner. Once again, we saw that flat low serve into the service box, inviting opponent to play flat exchange.
Oh, there's another one.
Yep.
It's just long.
Service over. 8-7. Service over. 8
Yeah,
Skidded over.
it did. The more I practice, the luckier I get.
Gary Player.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
Service over. 9-8.
Some difference in the two backhands. Li Shuai got out of trouble when Wang Yihan forced deep into her backhand corner. Couldn't.
And really get it away.
No.
That was a good lift.
10-8.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So to the mid-game interval. Same scoreline as game number 1. 11-8 advantage to Li
But look
Shuai.
how she's able to get Wang Yihan to stop at that center and then have to move again. The way that she's going to go in, stop, and then start again. That's really well played by Li Shuai.
Oh, it looks as if there's some sort of strapping on the hamstring there.
When you see the Chinese players, they're almost in a bodysuit.
Well, when I said that, I almost said to myself, well, have you ever seen a Chinese player that hasn't got strapping on?
Yep.
11-8. Play.
That was tight.
Oh, yeah.
13-8.
Li Shuai had lots of options on that backhand here. Chose to just block it, but she had many options on it. She could have gone cross-court short as well. Lots and lots of things to do. She could have pushed it.
Well, Wang Yihan seems back on her heels a little in the base position. 2 consecutive rallies now.
Yeah.
That was the shot towards her backhand side that once again she tries to play round the head, that flat one. And I think so often she plays herself into trouble with that.
Yeah, well left. So it's time now to start catching up,
14.
closing the gap. Or Li Shuai is running away with it in 2 straight games.
Well, given your comments about Li Shuai and whether she'd be a good doubles player because she really likes these flat, fast exchanges, and I agree with you, I think she's better at the flat, fast exchanges than Wang Yihan. So why is Wang Yihan continuing to use that serve, which is inviting the flat returns?
I don't know. For
No,
her
I
to
know.
For her to know and us to find out, I have no idea. But again, surely I wouldn't do it.
No.
That's just, you know, if there is an area where you just know that your opponent is better, just don't invite it.
Mm. you look at the records of these two players, Morton, it is absolutely astonishing. This is the 41st tournament final for Wang Han, the 31st for Li Shuirui.
They're almost 100 together.
Yes.
Not entirely true, but they might get there. Who knows?
Yeah.
11. Service over. 12.
Oh yes, that's clever.
13. 15.
It's a little bit similar to the other shot we talked about.
I was just about to say, but you're not as impressed with that one as...
I am,
Yeah.
but not many is using that clear option.
Yeah.
A lot of players are using that option there. It's still the same principle, but not a lot is using where they push it into that deep forehand
Yeah.
corner as what we saw before. That's why I was a little bit more impressed.
15. All.
Oh, it's very, very similar pattern of points, isn't it, to the opening game?
Service over. 16. 15.
Can't afford errors like that.
15.
But very nice change of serve, good variation by Li Shuirui here. Been serving the low serve on so many occasions, and suddenly now with that high serve, high long serve, that's what we saw just before.
16. 17. Service over. 18. 16.
Yeah, that backhand is a problem, isn't it, for Wang Han? It was a good return from Li Shuirui, obviously, but does need to be able to get herself out of trouble.
Nineteen. 16.
2 points away from the title. The Olympic champion against the Asian Games gold medalist.
And a record is broken.
Yeah.
Service over. 17. 19.
9 consecutive, 23 months.
Oh, that's delightful. Opened the shoulders, looked as if she was going to thunder down the big smash. And then the sharp angle across court instead. 1 point in it.
Service over. 20. Match point. 18.
That's not the ideal shot from Wang Han. Can only assume she changed her mind. 2 match point opportunities for Li Shuirui. Good rally. Clever. Very, very clever. What a good rally.
Service over. 19-20.
Yeah, Wang Yihan really fooled Li Shurai here. That was a good shot, that one there. Overcommitting and got punished.
Oh, it's back level. 20 all.
20.
That's what you call an invitation.
Yeah. So 2 match points have come and gone. Extra points required at 20 all. Oh, that's well long. That's a
Service
dreadful
over.
error at this stage of the game.
20.
Now, will it be third time lucky for Li Shuai? Third match point opportunity. It is indeed third time lucky. 21-17, 22-20. And Wang Yihan's remarkable record of winning consecutive finals ends at 9. 23 months and 9 finals since she last lost a final in international competition. Beaten by the Olympic champion today, Li Shuai. And she too has a remarkable record. 10 tournaments played, 10 finals reached. And for 2014, this her 4th title, her 4th Super Series title. Their confirmation of the score, 21-17, 22-20 in 38 minutes.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are now ready for the prize ceremony in women's singles. Please welcome the YONEX Denmark Open 2014 medalists in women's singles. Runner-up from China, Wang Yihan.
In her 5th Denmark Open final, last year's champion Wang Yihan, for a 3rd time in Denmark, has to settle for 2nd best.
21-17, 22-20 from China, Li Shuai.
The Olympic champion wins the YONEX Denmark Open, the first time she's won a title here.
Trophy and prize money presented by President of the BWF World
Paul Erik Høyer-Larsen, former Olympic champion, IOC member and president of BWF Badminton World Federation, presenting the checks there to both players.
The medals and the MetLife Superseries mascot are presented by the chairman of Badminton Denmark, Wang.
And here we have the president of the Badminton Denmark, René Toft, who just got elected about a year ago.
Flowers and a gift from Odense City are presented by Steve Møller from the city of Odense.
So Steve Møller from the city of Odense, presenting the flowers and gifts from this beautiful ancient
Ladies and
city.
gentlemen, give a big applause to the medalist of the Denmark Open 2014.
Well, for Li Shuirui, a 19th career title in her 31st final. 12th Super Series title.
Li Shuirui, congratulations. How is it to play against an opponent from your own country that you know so well?
首先恭喜你赢得比赛，在决赛当中碰到了自己很熟悉的队友，感觉如何？
因为碰到队友大家都很熟悉，然后打的过程也很艰苦，但是今天很开心我能够幸运一点，然后拿到冠军，然后王一涵也打得很好。
Because we are familiar with each other, so it's a difficult match, but I'm lucky. But I also think that Wang Yihan played a good match also. Yeah.
How are you going to celebrate this victory?
你要怎么庆祝这次比赛的胜利呢？
这是我第一次在丹麦公开赛夺得冠军，那也很开心。去法国庆祝吧。
This is the first time that I have won Denmark Open, so I'm very happy, and maybe I will celebrate it in France.
Thank you very much.
Yes, of course, the Super Series tour moves on tomorrow to Paris. So as you can see, 3 of our 5 finals have been completed. All very, very good matches, but none going the full distance. Men's singles is up next, and it features the defending champion, Chen Long of China, who, of course, just over a month ago won the gold medal at the World Championships here in Denmark in the city of Copenhagen. His opponent in today's men's singles final is Sung-Wan Ho of Korea, the number 7 seed, but I can tell you Sung-Wan Ho has been playing some very, very good badminton of late. And then of course we finish off with men's doubles as well, and once again, like the men's singles, it will be Korea against China in the men's doubles. Well, before the men's singles final gets underway, we can look at the Destination Dubai rankings, the rankings done purely from the Super Series tournaments. And regardless of whether Chen Long wins or loses today's final, he still cannot overtake Lee Chong-wei, because Lee Chong-wei has won 4 titles and been in 6 finals already this year. Jan Jorgensen will remain at number 3, but I can tell you Sung-Wan Ho will leapfrog over Kenichi Target.